Welcome to Strategic Spark. Today, we're diving into something crucial for any business, business continuity.
Mm,
Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's just disaster recovery, right?
right.
But it's so much bigger than that.
Uh,
It's about keeping your business running no matter what curveballs come your way. Think about it.
yeah.
Cyber attacks. Your supply chain going haywire.
Mm-hmm.
What if your main supplier just vanishes? Poof.
Right.
Business continuity means being ready for anything.
Exactly.
So let's get down to brass tacks. What exactly is business continuity?
Well, at its heart, business continuity is about minimizing any downtime,
Uh-huh.
making sure your most critical functions can keep humming along, even when things get rough.
So like a safety net for your business.
Yeah, you could put it that way. But it's also a strategic advantage.
Oh, interesting.
A strong business continuity plan, it's like a shield.
Okay.
It protects your revenue, your reputation, and your long-term success. Because disruptions, they can really cost you, not just money, but your brand, your ability to serve your customers.
Yeah, that makes sense. But how do we even start? Planning for every possible scenario seems, well, impossible.
It can seem that way, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, good to hear.
A solid business continuity plan usually have 5 key steps.
5 steps. Okay, I can handle that. Let's hear them.
The first step is risk assessment. It's all about putting on your detective hat
Ooh, I like that.
and uncovering all the potential threats that could disrupt your business. These could be things outside your control, like natural disasters or a crazy economy.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could be internal, like your IT systems crashing or a key employee leaving.
Right, so it's about finding those vulnerabilities, those weak points that could be exploited.
Exactly. And this is where technology can be a real game changer.
Okay.
You see, platforms like Quantive Strategy AI, they help businesses identify and assess these risks in real time,
Wow, in real.
using data analysis, predictive modeling, all that good stuff. So you're always a step ahead.
So you're not just reacting, you're anticipating problems.
That's the idea. Proactive, not reactive.
That sounds incredibly powerful, being able to see risks before they even become problems.
It is. And if you want to learn more about how Quantive can empower your business, you can head over to quantive.com.
I'll definitely check that out.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've identified the risks. What's the next step in this continuity plan?
Next up is the Business Impact Analysis, or BIA for short.
BIA.
Got it.
This is where you figure out which parts of your business are absolutely mission critical, the ones that keep the lights on and the money coming in.
The essentials.
Right, it's like a stress test for your business.
Mhm.
You see which parts are most vulnerable and would cause the most damage if they failed.
So you're not looking at every potential risk. You're focusing on the ones that would really hurt if they happen.
Exactly. It's all about prioritizing. You can't protect everything, so you focus your resources on the things that matter most. Protect the essentials. I like that. What comes after that?
Okay, so you've identified your critical functions and the risks that threaten them. Now it's time for strategy development.
Ah, so now we start taking action.
That's it. This is where you take your analysis and turn it into a plan of attack.
Okay.
You develop strategies to minimize those risks and make sure those critical functions keep running, even in a disrupted environment.
So coming up with concrete solutions like backup systems or finding new suppliers, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Let's say one of your critical functions relies heavily on a specific IT system. Your strategy might be to implement redundant systems or, cloud-based backups.
So if one system goes down, you've got a spare ready to go.
Exactly.
Right.
Or if you're heavily reliant on a single supplier, you might start looking for alternative providers.
Diversify, so you're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
You got it. It's all about building resilience into your operations.
And building in those redundancies, those safety nets that will catch you if something goes wrong. I like
Hey.
that. Okay, I'm with you so far. We've assessed the risks, figured out which ones are most important, and brainstormed some strategies to deal with them. What's next?
Next comes plan development. You take all those great strategies and turn them into a detailed, actionable plan.
Okay.
This plan outlines what needs to be done, who's doing it, and when, if a disruption happens. Think of it as your playbook for different scenarios.
Ah, so it's like a roadmap, a step-by-step guide to navigate a crisis.
Precisely. And this plan needs to be comprehensive, covering everything from communication protocols to data recovery.
Wow, so it's pretty detailed.
It is, but that level of detail, it's invaluable in a real crisis.
Yeah, I can see that.
It can be the difference between a minor hiccup and a total disaster.
So we've got our playbook, our detailed plan. What's the final step?
The final step is training and testing.
Okay.
You see, you can have the most amazing plan in the world, but if nobody knows how to use it,
Right.
it's useless. So you got to invest in training your team, making sure everyone understands their roles, what to do in different situations.
Nice, Chef.
And then you got to test that plan regularly.
Huh?
Simulations, drills, the whole 9 yards. Find those weak spots, make improvements.
It's like that saying, practice makes perfect.
Yeah,
You can't just have a plan on paper. You have to know how to use it when the pressure's on.
exactly. And remember, business continuity planning, it's not a one-time thing.
Right.
It's a process. It's got to evolve with your business, with the world around you.
Yeah.
The threats are always changing.
Yeah.
And that's another area where technology like Quantive's platform can really shine.
Oh, how so?
It keeps your plan fresh, relevant, adapting to your changing needs.
Dynamic, always evolving. That's great.
Exactly. And if you're interested in seeing how Quantive can help you build a more resilient business, check them out.
Okay.
Quative.com.
I'll make a note of that. Okay, so we've covered the 5 steps. Risk assessment, business impact analysis, strategy development, plan development, and training and testing.
Yep.
Can you give us a real-world example how this all comes together?
Sure, let's talk about a cyber attack.
Okay.
Imagine your company gets hit with ransomware. Your IT systems are down.
Ooh, that's a scary thought.
It is. But in that situation, your business continuity plan, that's your lifeline. First, it guides you through assessing the damage. Which systems are down? What data is lost?
Mm-hmm.
How's this impacting your business?
So it's about getting a clear picture before you start doing anything rash.
Exactly. Once you understand the scope, the plan outlines steps to contain the damage, restore your systems, and communicate.
Communicate with who?
Everyone, employees, customers, suppliers, keep them in the loop.
So it's not just about fixing the technical problem. It's about managing the communication, the PR, the whole shebang.
Precisely. A good plan covers everything, the technical, the human side. It's about keeping things running as smoothly as possible, even in the middle of a crisis.
This makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
But is there like a framework, a way of thinking about business continuity that makes sure you're covering all the bases?
There is. We call it the 4 Ps of business continuity.
4 Ps. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The 4 Ps are people, processes, premises, and providers. Every business continuity plan needs to address these 4 elements.
Okay, let's break those down. What do you mean by people?
Your people are your most valuable asset, always.
Mm-hmm.
So your plan, it needs to put their safety and well-being first.
Okay.
It should include procedures for evacuations, accounting for everyone, and providing support after a disruptive event.
So it's about making sure everyone is safe, taken care of.
Exactly. And it's also about making sure you have the right people in place to execute the plan. Cross-training, identifying key personnel, communication, all that.
The right people with the right skills, ready to act.
Exactly. Now, the second P, processes, is about figuring out your critical business processes and making sure you have backups if those normal operations get disrupted.
Okay, so like what kind of backup?
Okay, let's say you're a manufacturer. Your main production line goes down because of fire.
Oh, no.
Your business continuity plan should have a way to keep those orders moving. Maybe you have a backup production line, or you outsource, or you shift to another facility.
So it's about having those plan Bs and plan Cs lined up.
You got it. Now, the third P, premises. This is all about protecting your physical assets.
So our buildings, equipment, all that.
Yes, your offices, factories, warehouses, the whole shebang.
So this is where things like fire safety, security systems, disaster preparedness come in.
Yep. But it also means having alternative workspaces if your main location is unusable, or a plan to move equipment, inventory if you need to.
So no matter what happens to your physical space, you can still operate.
Exactly. And finally, the fourth P, providers. This one focuses on your suppliers, vendors, all those external partners.
So making sure your supply chain is resilient, that you're not reliant on just one source.
That's it. You need to know who your critical suppliers are and have strategies in place if something happens to them. Maybe you diversify your suppliers, have backup contracts, or stockpile crucial materials.
It's about understanding those dependencies and having backups for your backups. It's a simple framework, these 4 Ps, people, processes, premises, and providers. But it really makes you think about every part of business continuity.
It really does. You address all 4 and bam, you've got a plan that can handle almost anything.
This has been really eye-opening. But before we wrap up, I'm curious, who's the one calling the shots? Who's in charge of all this? Like, who's the business continuity captain?
Well, it's not really about one person. The responsibility is usually shared.
Yep.
Company leaders, senior managers, they need to be on board, understand how important this is. They need to be ready to lead if a crisis hits. Some companies even have, like, a dedicated business continuity manager to oversee everything.
So it's a team effort.
Yes.
But having a dedicated manager, that would definitely keep things organized.
Absolutely. They bring focus, expertise, make sure the plan's up to date. Everyone knows their role. But even then, every department has specific things they need to handle. IT might be in charge of getting systems back online. Finance might manage costs and assess the financial impact. HR would focus on employee safety and communication.
It sounds like a lot to manage.
Hmm.
For businesses feeling a bit overwhelmed, is there somewhere they can turn for help?
That's where Quantiv's strategy AI platform comes in. It's like your central command for business continuity.
Okay.
Helps you plan, implement, manage your strategy. And it uses real-time data, AI-powered insights, so you're always ahead of the game. It helps you pinpoint risks, figure out their impact, develop those strategies to mitigate them, and keep your plan evolving as your business does.
So it's like having a business continuity expert on call, 24/7.
Exactly.
Well, if anyone out there is ready to take their business continuity to the next level, check out Quantiv at quantiv.com. They've got the tools, the expertise, and they're passionate about helping you build a business that can weather any storm.
They really are.
Okay, so as we wrap up our look at business continuity, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Business continuity is not a nice-to-have. It's a must-have. Things happen, but how much those things affect your business, that's up to you. You plan ahead, put the right strategies in place, and you can minimize downtime, protect your reputation, make sure you're successful in the long run. Be proactive, not reactive. Planning is key. A good business continuity plan, that's your roadmap to resilience.
And if you need a partner to guide you, Quantiv is there. They can help you build a business that can handle anything.
Anything.
Before we go, any final thoughts for our listeners as they start their business continuity journey?
Take some time to think about what a disruption would look like for you specifically. What are your weak points? What if there's a cyber attack? A natural disaster? What if your main supplier just disappears? Ask yourself these tough questions now so you can start building a plan to protect your business and set yourself up for success.
That's great advice. It's about being prepared, not being afraid. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights on such an important topic.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Strategic Spark. We hope you found this episode insightful. Remember, business continuity is a journey, not a destination. Start planning today. Visit quantiv.com and build a business that can thrive no matter what. Thank you for listening to Strategic Spark.